The women who joined her, who had been mothers, had something to give that was exceptional. Clare was clearly being prepared to be married and to be the head of her own household. And we know that as soon as she was of age, the family began to bring eligible men who might be the prospective husband. And in fact, one of them lived long enough to be a witness for her canonization and to describe the gentle but firm way in which she told him that she had other plans. And she actually sort of encouraged him to think about a life founded on the gospel as well. So Clare understood the ramifications of turning down that choice because it was her destiny as a woman of a certain social class to enhance the family's wealth and prestige through her marriage. However, many women of the time aspired to a religious life, a cloistered life as Benedictine nuns or in various other kinds of monasteries. So she was not without models of that kind of dedication. There is in Clare, however, a refinement of emotions, of sensitivities that are indeed very maternal. And maybe that has a lot to do with her being an elder sister, but also Clare lived in what was an extended household of multiple women and their children. So she very possibly learned the care of children and how to relate to young people, even though she never would experience her own personal motherhood. I think that we need to be very careful about creating false equivalencies. I, as a religious sister, always hesitate to do any comparison with women who are mothers because I think that is a calling unto itself that calls for enormous sacrifice, vigilance, love. And I think that Clare took that energy of maternal love and gave it not only to her own sisters, and there are details told in her biographies about the little domestic things she did, covering a sister at night when it was chilly with an extra blanket, or helping a sister who was ill. Her own mother and sisters eventually came and joined her. So in a sense, the extended family ended up in the house of San Damiano with her. So I think her maternal instincts became available to all of those women who came and looked to her as a leader and needed her strength and needed her kindness. But I think she also respected that the women who joined her, who had been mothers, had something to give that was exceptional. So, for example, a mother shows up at San Damiano with her little boy who has stuck a stone up his nose. I remember that happening to kids that I played outdoors with when I was little. And so Clare does not attempt to create the remedy. She sends this little boy to her mother, who is in the monastery with her. And of course, I theorize she had seen her mother give first aid to little children, and she just thought, I know somebody who can handle this better than I can. I wonder, and there's no record of this, but just a question, were there women in the monastery who might have been able to serve as midwives to poor women in need? If they were mothers and widows themselves, that certainly might have been one of the nursing types of services that the sisters could be called upon, especially for those who did not have resources in a time of need. So I think that her stance can be an inspiration to mothers in the way in which she found to share that wellspring of love, but also the way in which she understood the role of motherhood as something very special and unique.